moment. It's very, very interesting nonetheless. We're just gonna have to wait and see what she does. If she starts, look, she looks like she's starting to salivate a little bit. So I wonder if there is something behind us. Maybe, you never know, maybe Hukamuri might be around as well. This might get quite interesting, but it almost looks as though she's watching Craig and I. It's really strange. Now, we can sit here for a little bit. We're going to try and see what happens. And so while we sit and kind of see what happens, we're going to just prep ourselves for a little broadcast that's going to go live on on various platforms actually. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to a beautiful afternoon here in South Africa. We are coming to you live with one of the most amazing sights that you could possibly have. The elusive, the shy, the most difficult of the big cats to find, a beautiful leopard female who seems to be interested in something, and we just can't work out what it is at the moment. She's kind of stalking and looking, and it's almost as though she's seen something behind where we're sitting. Every now and then she lets out a bit of a growl, and so we're not sure if maybe there might be another leopard in this area. Now, I was saying that it is a live interactive safari, which means that you can ask questions, and you can do that by just posting in the comment sections below, and we'll try and answer as many as possible. Now, also, I've forgotten to introduce myself. My name is Tristan, and on camera I've got Craig, and this leopard is still very, very interested in something. And like I was saying, leopards generally, if they're hunting and stalking, they don't make noise, whereas this leopard is pretty much growling every now and then, and that's normally indicative of an animal that's spotted maybe another leopard close by. And so we think there could potentially be another leopard close by, and that's why she's kind of looking and bobbing her head and weaving. It's an interesting situation to see. I've never seen a leopard kind of do this with a vehicle or with a person, so it's not that. She's a fairly relaxed cat, and we see her quite often, and so it's interesting. Right, now unfortunately our technical glitch has happened, and so we're not on our action broadcast anymore, and we're still with Xidulu, but she's watching us now. Apparently we are on it, so I do apologize about that. But anyway, we're still with our leopard, and she's still watching us more than anything else and kind of sniffing towards us. So I have no idea what she's actually doing, but it's very, very interesting. I've never seen a leopard take this much interest in us, and it might be because the wind is blowing towards us. I thought for a second there was another leopard behind us, but it also could be that she's seeing her reflection in the screen or in the camera's lens, and that's maybe why she's having a little look. That's almost what it appears like, because I keep looking over my shoulder and I can't see a single thing anywhere near us, and she keeps kind of looking towards where we are. You see, she's kind of coming a little bit closer and just checking us out. Now, when I say she's a little bit closer, she's no more than about 3 meters from where she is, so she's right next to us, and she's just kind of watching us and checking what we're doing. Now, Kathleen, you asking if she would recognize her own scent. I think that's what you said, and so probably yes. I mean, she's a cat that is a territorial individual, and so she marks territory regularly in order to try and keep her territory and keep other females out. And so she'll know areas that she's marked and where she's kind of been before, and she'll know her own scent versus a leopard's, well, another leopard's scent. So it's not that she's smelling herself, she's just curious as to what we are, which is maybe because this cat hasn't spent as much time around cameras or a vehicle with a camera on it as she has normal game viewers with guests on it, and so that's maybe maybe why she's a bit curious as to what this whole thing is and why we're kind of having it. But it's definitely that she's looking at us and not at another leopard, which is pretty interesting. I would thought at first she was spotted another cat and she was bobbing and weaving, or maybe a prey animal, but it's more that she's actually kind of watching herself in the lens of the camera, which is pretty strange. Now, Colleen, this is a female that we call Xidulu female. She's a newish female to our area. She's been spending most of her time to the west of where we are, and she's just come in recently due to the fact that a older female by the name of Shadow has been pushed further away by a new male that this female is already mated with, and that's maybe why she's here. She's followed that new male in, and she's now just working out this area and scent marking and sort of starting to establish herself as a dominant female in this western sector of Djuma. So it's a very, very interesting kind of story that's going on at the moment. Now, Dory, you say, what's an exquisite animal? Well, they're my absolute favorite, Dory, and so they are seriously beautiful individuals. The spotted coat that they've got, those rosettes, the beautiful eyes, and in particular this female has got these kind of whitish bluish tinged eyes. She is absolutely exquisite, and you can see she's got very few scratches, and that's because this is a much younger female. She's about 4 years old now, as opposed to some of the other females that we see that can sometimes be well over 12 years old. And so she's still just watching us. I don't know what the story is at the moment, but anyway, she's interested in what we're doing, and so we're going to stay with her for a little bit longer. It's been an absolute pleasure having all of you with us. Hopefully you'll carry on following us, and you can do that on Safari Live. You can just Google Safari Live and catch up with us on the various platforms. But from myself and Craig, like I say, it's been an absolute pleasure, and we'll leave you with one last look of the beautiful Xidulu. Right, so I don't know what Xidulu is up to at the moment, but she has taken a serious interest in Craig by the looks of things, or an interest just in the camera and her reflection in the lens. But she is seriously staring us down at the moment, and I can tell you, a little bit of an uncomfortable feeling when a leopard looks at you like she's interested in you and wants to kind of find out exactly what you're made of, and she's kind of just staring us down at the moment. Craig, are you okay there? Yeah, Craig's okay. So he's, I think, thoroughly enjoying the fact that he's got a leopard that's kind of locking sort of eyes with him. And she's actually watching flies that are buzzing around our car, and she's really curious as to what's going on. It's an incredible situation, and it's very seldom that you see that. Now, Penny, if she comes closer and she gets right towards the car, or she makes any sort of tail swish or a hiss, then we'll start the car and move off and try and just put some distance between us and her. She's not an aggressive female, and you can see there's no aggression in what she's doing. She's not tail flicking, her ears are not flat, she's not growling. She's just curious. She's watching us, and there's insects that are buzzing around the car at the moment, and it almost seems as though she's more interested in the insects buzzing around than she is actually us at this stage. And so I wonder if she's just kind of wondering what's going on. We've also got a new fan that we've installed in Jigga, because Jigga was overheating a little bit, and the fan makes quite a bit of noise, and I wonder if that's maybe why she's so intrigued. Anyway, we're going to try and stay out of her way, and we'll just probably back off a little bit now, and while we do that, let's send you back across to Brent, who's got some very intrigued animals of his own.